Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Neighboeish livecast. I'm Super Dave, aka Mr. Incredible, and with me today is my man, 100 Grand, just Mike. What's up, brother?
Hey man, it's good to see y'all.
Yeah. We got a great show for y'all today because our guest today is the amazing vocalist who's charismatic and inviting personality, and her raw talent makes her live performance something you have to see. I posted a video to my page just to give y'all a little taste of her ability to sing a Precious Lord, and I was just telling her, like, I still get chills watching that video. The runs, her mastery of her vocals is amazing. Of course, I'm speaking of Melissa V. Neal. Welcome to the Neighboeish livecast. How you doing?
Hey y'all.
Yeah. We so glad to have you here, man. I'm excited to talk to you. About your journey. A lot has happened since the last time we talked, so we're gonna get into all of that and and talk about where you were, where you at now, and how you got there. But first, there's a couple of things going on in the city, in the country, in the world that we need to talk about, and we're gonna talk about it right now. First of all, I want to send a shout out to our two female hosts who both had prior engagements this evening, but they actually. Surprisingly, they both have the same birthday. It was June the 7th. July the 7th. Look, I don't know. Anyway, it was July the 7th, and they did their thing. Happy birthday to both of them. Patrice Jones and Miss Aisha. They had amazing birthdays and enjoyed their days, so I'm so glad for that. They're wonderful women, and can't wait for them to be back here with us. That's going to be dope. So
26 years old, both of them. They feel great, don't they?
26? That's what it is. That's what we're gonna say. Okay.
I ain't getting into that.
That's a good number.
That is. So I want to start with both of you guys have kids, and so I want to talk about an interesting contrast that I noticed going on in the news lately. So on the one side, we have girls like Zayla Avantgarde, the young lady who won the spelling bee. And not only did she win, not only was she the first African American to win the National Spelling Bee, but it was also revealed that she currently holds not one, not two, but 3 world records in the Guinness Book of World Records for basketball, dribbling, and juggling. And it was just announced that she also received several free ride scholarships from a number of different universities. And
she earned them.
Definitely.
She earned them.
And then, we have, just outstanding young girls, people like Sha'Carri Richardson, who even though she went through her issue, dealing with what Mike is smoking right now, she
right.
She is one of the fastest women in the world, basically. Broke all
she is the fastest woman in the world.
She is the fastest.
She ain't one of them. She is that, and it's messed up that you bring up what I'm smoking. But guess what? I'm not going up to Olympic trials and shit. I work at Midas.
Look, don't say that too loud. They're gonna be pissed at you. But anyway,
they get pissed on their throat. I'll give no fuck.
All right, man. Anyway, look, but yeah. So I wanted to. Oh, go ahead. What you gonna say?
My point was, we bring her up. Let's not bring her up loosely. You know what I'm saying? Stuff. It's a double-edged sword. You want to see that young woman survive. Where she, coming from where she's from, and she survives by excelling in this sport.
Right.
Perhaps in the next 4 years, unfortunately, we live with crabs. You know what crabs do? Yeah. They cling to one another. They don't let you off the basket. You did?
Yeah. So I feel like in her situation, it was a good lesson. She's 19, right? So
a lesson to who?
About
a lesson to her.
Yeah, to her about what you need, because it's rules set for what you need to do. And she was going through a lot, like she said, her mom passed away and whatever the case may be. And, and I hear a lot of people who say that it's not a good rule. It's like a outdated rule because weed doesn't help you run faster or anything like that. But the bottom line,
unless you run from the police.
Anyway, in my opinion, that's when it's in your sock. But anyway, but in my opinion, it's like if it's set rules, like if it's things you have to do to reach a certain goal, part of your training and discipline and all that is making sure that you adhere to these things that you have to do. And so this situation happened. It was a strong lesson. Every person coming of age in those years, 18, 19, 20. Those are the times you make mistakes and learn those lessons. It's sad that she had to learn it in front of so many people just because she was in the spotlight, but it's a valuable lesson. I think she's gonna get a lot of endorsements. First of all, Nike still buy her. You know
what makes it sad? Then what makes it sad?
Well, I mean, just that it's always going to be people that's going to criticize and look at her crazy because of it.
They was criticizing her because of her hair and her nails already.
I know, but giving people another reason is never a good idea. But
right. That's what I felt. I felt like people were already against her look,
right?
And then she kind of proved people right. Unfortunately. So we live in a time where regardless of what you got going on, sometimes things are bigger than you. And I wish somebody would have been around her to really
who get her out the rotation.
Come
she
on,
can't
Mike.
smoke. She about to get a gold fucking medal. I don't went off at that cookout. Or that
but look though. This is the thing.
We need her. We need her. We need her.
Yeah.
So what I was trying to tell my friends, they can't change the rule for one person. Like they would have to change the rules completely. She could be the start of that.
Yeah.
But I believe she's going to come back and be greater. I think she's going to be a big deal because, like I said, I don't smoke weed, but I know people that do. And if she ran that fast on weed, I need to see her off weed.
Right. Yeah.
So
I don't, from her environment, that same environment, respect. We talking this little person that we don't know. She went through horrible loss.
Yeah.
And the same individuals that's around her then that didn't say, "Hey, nah, mom, you have a sip. Here's a sip. Here's a sip. Get a little sip." But you put this in your body, and this cuts down any opportunity you have for the next 4 years of doing something. Fuck the Olympics. Fuck the damn gold medal. How about just like working for 4 years based in a field that you excel at, better than anyone else? Like and so if that same circle is around her, and they haven't galvanized and gotten stronger because of it with her.
I think they will though. That's why I said it's a good lesson. I'm
hoping
they will. You don't know. You know.
I agree with Mike though. She might need to check her circle because you need the people around you to say, "Hey, no, not right now. Don't mess this up." She needed that person. And whoever sold it to her, they trash.
Yeah. They need to be smacked in the face hard.
Because
I don't think anybody sold it to her directly. I think she was at the party. We all got weed, man. Her mama just passed.
I don't know about it.
She got weed. Somebody getting high. I got high as shit. When my mama died, I got high as a giraffe's ass. And I've been that way ever since. Before then, too. So,
but anyway. But yeah, man, definitely. So, the reason I brought her up, and thanks, Mike, for turning the conversation a little bit, because I did want to talk about it a little bit before I got into this part of it, which was showing the contrast, showing these women who are these young girls. Shakari's 19 and Zayla. I hope I'm saying her name right. I always destroy people's names, but anyway, she's only 14 and was the winning the spelling bee and all of the world records and stuff. But then on the other side of that, we got some young girls out here. I was listening to the news today, and the 3 young ladies who were arrested for trying to carjack a guy over by the baseball stadium, and they tried to tase them and carjack, and one of them was 12, the other was 13, and the third was 16. And it's like, when I first heard that, I was like, man, we got to talk about this tonight. And what's wrong with the young girls these days and stuff like that? But then I started thinking about the other side of that, the people who are excelling and stuff. So I'm glad that I had both of y'all on here. Both of y'all have daughters. And so I want to talk a little bit about the type of stuff that you talk about. I know, Melissa, your daughter's pretty young, right? Yeah, but
she got a little mind on her already.
Right? No, but well, she's your daughter. No, but yeah, man, I do want to talk about. I know Mike's daughters are a little older, but I also want to talk to you about like even now, what you're planning to kind of talk to her about to try to keep her on the right track, or things you might be doing in these stages. So I'm gonna start with Mike because his daughters are a little older. And like, just what kind of things do you talk to your daughters? Just seeing these two different stories, and these girls who have gone to like the highest of highs, and then these girls who are kind of, because these 3 girls that just got arrested. I think we were talking about it earlier, Mike. You said they getting juvenile life. They ruined their lives pretty much. You know what I'm saying?
My daughters are the same age, 16 and 14, 15. I watched the video. Baby girl hopped out the car that was on its side. She ran the dude over.
Oh, you told well, those were the first two
was trying to get away and was trying to find.
These are 3 girls that just did it yesterday. After this happened, like how can you see that and still be like,
just got sentenced. Them girls just
those girls just got sentenced. Yeah, go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
And when she hopped up the car, the first thing she asked for is on videotape. My phone, where's my phone? I'm like, oh my God. So ultimately, we gotta save our babies. I have been blessed with strong women in the lives of all my children. From my oldest biologically to my youngest not biologically. The woman in my life right now is a very tough, stern, strong woman. Coming from Brooklyn, having acquired things scholastically that you shouldn't get from Brooklyn, like 2 degrees, got her master's, work her butt off, got her own. Moreover, is an excellent person and mom. So that example in and of itself goes a long way. Some of these little girls don't have that. And some of these little girls, got some things going on and things didn't happen to them. And then they had to, find their way to the streets. And it's tough. So you look forward to a better day for them. But ultimately, mine, I try to plant seeds of love and respect in them. With, their love and respect is of themselves, so they give it out even more. And they're also attracted. That's laws of attraction, ultimately. Also, it's funny you talk about this. I was thinking about, if you brought harm to one of them, what I would do. Typical father type shit, Yeah. But what if I was their father and, what if those my kids? That man is dead. They ran, I'm talking about the other situation.
Yeah, the first.
They snatched his car up, delivering the Uber food, and drug him down the road into the fucking National Stadium. They kept him moving, like, stuff. How old is yours, Melissa?
Mine's still a baby.
Oh.
He turns 2 in September, but
September
but
what?
she September the 8th. Virgo, yeah. She but she's tough already. What I do teach her is how to be a feminine. Like, these are the things you do. Also, I've been teaching her, like, because she's very handsy. So she be beating up her brothers and stuff. And I always tell her, like, look, I don't want you to think you can get away with this because you're a girl. Because I grew up with boys. And I would see, like if they did something, it was like, they get punished. And then the girl is just like, oh, okay, it don't matter. Well, maybe that same situation, if it keeps rolling and rolling and rolling, when they're 12 and they're 14, they're 16, they think they're going to keep getting away with these same things. So these girls might have thought, I can do this and just get a tap on the shoulder, versus a 12-year-old or a 14-year-old black boy. It would have been totally different, even the way it came out in the media. So I try to teach her just basically equal, like, look, you're equal to your brothers. I love all you all. She's very, like I said, she's strong-minded already. So I let her pick out her little clothes and things like that. But I let them just see what I do from day to day. And then we do our little affirmations. I talk to them like that. I tell her, I don't want you to ever feel like someone have to tell you that you're beautiful. So I say things like that to her. I try to show her lots of love, so she's not out here looking for it, because that could be one of the reasons why I don't know these young girls' stories, but I do know some of my friends' stories growing up, that was what they were missing. They just ain't have anybody to really show that they love them. So I just try to show her that, cook for her, and let her see, like, this is mommy. And I let her see me in all my elements. So she seen me before I got dressed up. So she can see, this is mommy when I'm serious. Now I'm on serious mode. This is what I'm doing. And I believe that's how they develop, is what they see from day to day. So I don't know what those young girls sing, but some of them, unfortunately, they don't have that. And I think that it's a spike in our city because of COVID. So when COVID hit, now you took all of the youth groups that were helping these young kids. Now these same young kids were trapped in the house with probably their problems. and it just amplified. So it's a shame. I do feel like you, Mike, on one end, it's like, dang, could they have gave these girls a lighter sentence because something had to have occurred to make them do something like that? Because I was wondering, was somebody older pushing them to do that? But on the other end, would I have said that if that was my loved one? No. So it goes back to the I don't want to say her name wrong, Sakari Richardson situation. There's consequences for all your actions. Exactly. And the world don't care. The world don't care. The world don't care. What's the reasoning behind it? So like with her, with the two girls, they did the same thing. Like, okay, well, you guys did this, young or not, you're in trouble.
Right.
So unfortunately, we don't have, and we definitely need to build that again in this area, because this is the worst that I've seen it with youth, doing so many things like carjacking. So it's making me feel like what's happening? What's happening here that you all are doing that instead of, finding something else to do. So I'm wondering, will it change a little bit once school starts? What was you gonna say, Mike?
There ain't nothing else to do sometimes.
Well, that's what I was saying. Because of COVID, you trapped in a house. If your parents are crazy or your siblings or whatever, now you stuck into your environment, and they were like, "Oh well, let's just go. Let's go do this." Versus when school was open.
I have done some really stupid shit, and it's all because we was bored. It was like, and we were Generation X. We didn't give a fuck, and then we had babies, Generation Y, and it's gone. They gone.
So that's the reason.
That's why, because y'all was wild out, so now they wild out.
I mean, if you look at it, going into the new millennium, there was a real reluctance on not just the Y2K bullshit, but more so what we was going to do, what pages we was going to turn, and they psyched us out, gave us 8 years of some shit. It was amazing, like wow, we have an individual as the president actually might represent us. And then they took it all away, and we are where we are now. And it's like, damn, it's all some bullshit. It's some bullshit.
Yeah, it's a lot of craziness.
I might want to say that, but I don't know who on the line.
Right? Yeah. I hear you.
That's my problem.
Right. We're gonna put the parental advisory up there so they know that it's But yeah,
our baby deserve better. When you don't give us nothing to do.
They do.
Rich kids go to, I'm gonna tell you what rich kids do. My wife is hell bent on getting the kids into like the YMCA and activities and stuff. And I be in myself like, I ain't had that. What's talking about? Like, we ain't had no money for all that. And I realized we can afford $60-$70 for a week. So the little one can go experience different things, do arts and crafts, and out the house and not go, crazy. Some families don't have it. I didn't have that.
Right.
I didn't have that. I'm trying to tell you, none of that. A lot less than that. So it's like we get.
And that's what hurt me about Sakari with that happening, because I was like, it had to been hard to even get to that point.
Right. Yeah.
To get to this point, and you finally made it. And the same person that wasn't in your life is almost the reason why you didn't make it. That's just crazy to me. Like, the same person that you pulled through all of this and you finally got there, and this same person is also the cause of that was like,
that's gotta affect how you how you parent, right? Just understanding that it's like, okay, so I gotta be that person, right, for my kids, and make sure that they have that person. So if they ever get there, they'll they can at least say mama was like, don't do it. So
but then the kid gets to a certain age, and you get to a certain age where you realize you ain't gonna be around forever. And once you're not around forever, I'm 40. I don't know if I got 40 more years, but I can't have it at this rate. My guy, you know what I'm saying? So you want to leave them and give them something before that. Dave always asks us questions about kids and shit. Sometimes I feel like he's just like very fertile, and he just can't wait to get. But he always asks.
Hey, I ain't saying nothing.
Always asks
it's fascinating stuff, and it's interesting. You might be helping somebody else who got a kid who want to know. That's why I always ask, like,
you want us to help parents? All right, ask Miss Melissa and myself a question about parenting. Like, first question, on top of your head, man. We're gonna give you the realest answer. And you gotta cuss, Melissa. You gotta cuss.
She can't. No, you don't. Don't listen to him. Anyway, and we'll do that later.
Trying to get me to be bad on this
live.
Right,
yeah, on the live. Come on, man. But,
I ain't gonna act up my
But yeah, let me keep it moving. I did want to talk a little more about the young lady who won the spelling bee, Zayla Avant-Garde. And Mike, I wanted to ask you, she won the spelling bee. So what I wanted to ask you was spell idiosyncrasy. No, I'm just messing with you.
You heard me suck my teeth.
I'm just messing with you. Nah.
Okay, Dave, I can spell the word.
You can spell it. I know you probably can. But a lot of things happened we didn't get to talk about last week because, like I said, we had some technical difficulties. There was a lot of stuff in the news that we didn't really get to touch on. Bill touch on no pun intended.
There you go. What we do? You said touch on Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby got released from prison, and a lot of people are, it's a lot of people on both sides of that discussion. And I'm not gonna get like you guys can say how you feel about it if you want. I'm not gonna get into it. All I want to know is, are we still watching the Cosby Show? Melissa, you still watching the Cosby Show? No comment. Okay, Mike.
Are we still listening to R. Kelly?
Now that's a different thing. I mean, it's tough because all his stuff sound weird now. Like when you listen to it, it's like
it was real.
So am I still looking at the Cosby Show? I wasn't watching it really.
Okay.
Really, but I'll speak on it a little bit. They couldn't have had enough evidence to let him. I mean, the fact that he's out, so something was wrong in there. So I don't know who was right, who was wrong. I do believe somebody's story was right, but I think sometimes when this stuff happened, everybody come out like, me too. And that's what's sad about people that really have gone through this is that their voices aren't heard because Billy Bob and Sally and Elroy and everybody like we want to be a part too, and then they end up messing up everything. So I'm kind of telling you what I think about this situation.
Okay, yeah, no, I feel you. And I mean, my thing is like I wasn't there. I don't know, if it did happen, if what they say about him is true, then hopefully he's able to pay his debt to society for it. And if not, it's a good thing that he's free. My whole thing is I wasn't there. We've had a discussion on here a couple of times before about like separating the art from the artist though. So people like Bill Cosby, like R. Kelly, like who else has done stuff and people, have gone to jail for it, gotten in trouble for it, and people like they want to cancel them and stuff like that. But can you separate the art from the artist? Like, is it okay, like you said, to still listen to R. Kelly but not support him? And there are people out there who say if you watch the Cosby Show or any his stand-up or anything like that, you're supporting rape. And I think that's a little far. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but
that's very far because they don't know what name brand people and who they talk to around the corner. I mean,
right, yeah.
You could be supporting a whole bunch of crazy people. So
right, yeah.
It's just that he was exposed,
Right, yeah. So I mean, I think my personal opinion is it's possible to separate. I can
What was your question,
Keith Huxtable.
What was your original question?
I'm getting back to it. Stay with me. So my question was, can you watch? And I was about to say, so my thing is, you can separate the art from the artist. You can still watch Dr. Heathcliff Huxtable and not support Bill Cosby. So do you still watch the Cosby Show, Mike?
That's the best elevator music I ever heard.
Anyway.
You might try to put some salt on your sugar, dude.
Right, yeah. All day.
When you grow up and you don't have no father, and you see all bitch assness around you, and you not even a man yet, and then you see this character on the TV show, and he loves all people and kids, and his wife is beautiful and elegant, and you know what I'm saying? It gives you a picture that obviously, me personally, I need it, and I don't deny that. I can separate him and Michael Jackson and R. Kelly and every fucking body else bullshit, and I can listen to these songs and their music and watch their performances, And it is a little sickening in the back of my head to know that, possibly they were sick bastards too. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something, Mike. Do you think on that perspective you have that they had a greater assignment if they would have thought about it? Like
assignment, like from God and shit?
No, I mean, well, it's assignment meaning whatever it means to you, but to me that's like how you just said, people looked up to the show. Like this is the model family. So having that role model and then that's stripped away and it's like, well, who the hell do we, who's our role model now?
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by assignment.
I can separate what I seen on TV versus what the real pudding he was there putting with, whatever he was doing. I mean, that's fucked up, Mike, for real. If it's true, and I hate to say it's because you know what, I kind of believe it is, and if it is, then I don't really fuck with you. But I can watch the Cosby Show. Dilemma.
Yeah, that's why I said. I mean, honestly, wasn't like watching it. But like Mike said, I mean, if it is true, that's terrible. Absolutely terrible. But I do definitely believe that if there were people that threw themselves in the equation that didn't even belong, they could have messed it up for people and that's that. I think that happens a lot in our society.
You see what bothers me? What I ain't heard about, like for me, like I know me, right? I have 3 daughters in my life and a little boy. If it happened to one of my children, it's gonna be a whole nother story. Like, dude, you heard that rapper that got shot 64 times come out of Cook County Jail yesterday, this morning?
No, I didn't.
Wow.
Look it up. Young man, I don't know what happened. None of my business. But yeah, if you did that to my daughter, and that was my child, as soon as you was released. If I didn't get to you while he was in there or before the arraignment. Because I know where to get plastic pistols and bullets and shit.
All right, so we're going to cut Mike off before he incriminates himself. Let's move on to the next topic. We're going to talk
Man, we talking about our girl, my daughters. My daughter, I don't see. I don't want to provoke anybody, but I haven't seen no father come up and say maybe all these women are older. Their fathers have passed on, perhaps whatever. But even as an old man, I'm gonna have a fucking 6-shooter or something. I'll put something hot in somebody's ass. You touch my little girl, my daughter. And these
women. Let me ask you that, Mike. Do you think? So I'm playing devil's advocate then. If no family member is acting like that. But what could be the reason why? Because, like you said, if somebody
they all old and dead, decrepit, or they some punk pussy dudes, I don't know, but I ain't that one.
They asked that question though about the R. Kelly situation, about a lot of the family members.
They would have fought with the
fathers at the time when it was happening, because some of them are coming forward, now or at the time. But it's years after what was happened, and apparently they knew about it and didn't, so. But I mean, that's a whole murky, thing. And like, it's a lot of layers in that.
You asked the question, Dave.
Hey, well, I mean.
Dave said, we're going to keep it surface level. Y'all ain't getting to counsel us.
Right. Because they will cut it. What are they talking about? Oh, no, cut them off. No, but this will be our last show.
Back in 2021, she supported.
Right. They'll be pulling up your stuff. You be about to win a Grammy.
I'm like this, like, yes. I like They like, nope.
Right.
That's how it be.
Yeah, no, definitely.
No,
so we're gonna keep all that from happening. So that's like, like you said, keep surfing up. So with that being said, let's talk to you a little bit, man. I want to talk to you about your musical journey, about your life. Like I said, a lot has happened since the last time we talked. That interview was real eye-opening. The one in what is it, Voyage ATL?
Yeah.
I read that and I was like, okay, it's some stuff that I didn't know, some stuff I knew, so
it's a lot of stuff people don't know.
Yeah, and I don't want to unpack the whole thing because I want people to go check it out, but I do want to talk a little bit about your journey. So I want to start off at the beginning, where you when you first started singing and when you first realized that you actually had a voice and you could actually take this somewhere. Do you remember when that happened?
Well, I realized I can sing somewhat around like 2nd or 3rd grade. Because I would sing and people would like stop and like, oh, Melissa, sing again, like my friends. And then in church, they would be like, that girl can sing. Like I would hear that all the time, like that girl can sing. Yeah. But I was shy, you know, so I would just be like, okay. But my mama, oh, she wasn't playing with me. She would push me up on the thing on and be like, go up there on the pulpit. And then it was a meme like that on social media, and the person was kind of singing, and then the mother was like, open your mouth. Right, and that's how my mother was like, you better sing like you sing in the house and stop being afraid. So when I really believed I could sing was probably when people started crying when I was singing. I was like, why are they crying, mama? What's happening? But I realized it was a gift then. So it took me a long time though before I was like cool with singing anywhere. Because I would just be like, who said I can sing?
Right. So let me ask you about the shyness. So was it anything specific that you did to get over that, or did it just come with you singing more and more? Or because like you said, go ahead.
I'm still shy.
No, you're not going. I've seen you perform live, and you
I'm about to get to that.
Go ahead. So
yeah, all right. It's two. I'm telling you, when I tell you, it's different sides. It's like an onion to me.
Layers. Okay.
It's layers. So that layer is when I'm like, boom, because I'm like one of those people, once I'm put up to the task, I'm not going to fail. So I'm not about to get on stage and be like, have all these people come out and be like, she's some crap. So I'm like, I'm going to get them a show. But that's my fire. That's like my fear side. Like, okay, like my husband always say, I do not like Melissa B. Neal. As far as like how I am that day when I'm in performance mode, I'm straight deep and like, what would you say? No. So that's why I like boxing and different celebrities that have that personality. Because I say, no, they're not cocky. They need that. So that person, yeah, she's a mess. She thinks she's all of that. And but not until I literally hit the stage, because I think you see me perform. Did you met me? No, you came to the show before I performed.
Yeah. And so I saw the change. Yeah. So
and before I'll be like, I wish I had my earphones. I had my earphones on. I'm like, I'm scared and everything. I'm like, don't talk to me, don't touch me.
Well, no, you spoke to me, but you was just real chill, like you were in the interview. But it was the same thing from like when we did the interview, because I'm gonna tell you the reason I came out was because of how you sang in the interview. Because I work with a lot of singers, and there were people, and some people are the real deal, and some people they are, but you killed it. That made me say I gotta go see her live now. So that's why I can't. I think it might not have been the same night. It was probably like
it's like a week later.
Yeah. So, but I was like, man, I gotta go see this live. Because it's the gift. So, but yeah, you were real chill, and then you got up there and all the charisma, like I said, all the personality came out, and I was like, that's when I was like, okay, she got the whole package. You know what I'm saying? Like
the crazy. That's when I think because when I'm singing, I'm totally free. So I'm like, ain't no judgment here because you came to my show.
Right.
So you came to my show. So it's time for me to act up.
Yeah.
Everywhere else I have to be conservative. At work I'm like, with my kids, sometimes they see the crazy side when I'm dancing with them and stuff. But when I'm up there, it's like, all right, gloves off, it's time,
Yeah.
And I just love people to vibe with me, like when they come out to the shows and they feel good, because I think about if I go to the show, I don't want nobody to just sing at me, meaning that I'm like, okay, I'm just here. He or she looks good, but I don't know what they're talking about. Right. So I like to actually capture my audience. Like, let me see how they're feeling today. Yeah. And I think you asked me, when did I realize that?
Yeah. Or did you like how did you overcome the shyness, so did you create that other personality for that, or was it something that just came out as you performed, or was it like, did you sit down and say, okay, I'm gonna make this other personality so I can wild out and be free and stuff like that?
Oh no, I think that crazy girl was always there.
She was always there. So you created the calm
factor. About the personalities, Dave.
Hey,
I'm like, can't admit that, Dave.
Anyway, go ahead.
She got like 9. No, but truthfully, I didn't know how to do it at first. my first couple of shows, I remember the bass player was like, "You're gonna have to find out who you are on stage. Nobody can teach you that." Because the first couple of shows, I was standing there, y'all. I was like, I was rocking, and I was sounding good, but I was afraid. So, what got me over that? Well, I don't know if they're on the call, but definitely Brandon and Neal, because they would be like on my back, like, you need to just do this. But one day I just stopped caring about what anybody thought in the audience, because the first couple of shows, like I told you, Mama was there.
Right.
Mama had on her good church hat, her good church shoes. She was already mad I was in the club because I'm not a club girl. So that was like the first time I went to the club. My skirt was short. So I was just kind of like just nervous. And so I started saying, when I perform, I'm wearing pants. Because she would be like, you up there on stage, legs out, ain't nobody coming to see you. They coming to see that. All this stuff. So I was like, well, maybe she got a point. So the first show that I wore some pants, my team brought me out there, and then we went to Avery's. That's when I kind of was like, it's showtime. And also, I would say my backing, like everybody, my friends were very like, yes, come on. Like they were like this in the crowd, like, and my best friend, she probably on the live now, she was like, in your face, So it's kind of like, I'm not about to have all these people come here and I fail. Right. And it felt good. After I did it one time, I was like, oh, it's levels,
Yeah.
So so I went up levels. So you gotta come see me again now, Dave, because
yeah. Sure.
Leveled up to 2021, I guess.
Yeah, that confidence is there, man, definitely. So
yeah.
So that was, your beginning. Oh, before I go any further, before you, when you were a little girl, like, and people would ask you what you wanted to be when you grow up, do you remember what you would tell them?
I definitely told them a singer.
A singer was always been singing?
Yeah, I used to be like, I want to be a singer. I want to be in forensic science. Like, I want to be in forensic science. It's, because I like mystery books and stuff. I would like read that, but I would just be like, I want to sing. But I changed. Now when I affirmate, I changed the famous, because you could be famous for all the wrong things.
Right, yeah.
So I started being like,
That's true.
Yeah, you could be famous, you could be affirmating the wrong things. So I stopped saying that and being like, you know what? Because as I'm on this journey, I don't ever want to lose myself, my trueness, like how I am. I don't want to get like that, and then next thing you know, Dave, like, she used to come on our show. Now she, people do that, and you're like, what happened? So they forgot. So I just want to stay true. So that's another, well, I guess we'll get into that later on in the conversation, but that's another reason why it took Homegirl some time, because people will be like, hey man, we like your voice, so come on to the studio. And I'm like, okay,
Oh yeah. So I've been in and around like the music industry for a number of years now. One of the things I always try to do when I work with female artists is first of all reassure them, like, because it's a lot of dudes. I even know and have worked with some of the dudes who their whole goal, is something other than music, and but they use that as the as like the debate to reel you in, like you said, hey, I got a studio, come through and we're gonna lay some tracks down, and you get there and the nigga naked or something, but so but I always try to, you said what? Anyway, I don't even want to know what you said, Mike, but yeah.
I feel he said something inappropriate.
Right, yeah.
It's not funny, Dave.
Right. So, but anyway, but yeah, so it must be difficult, like that thing, just being a female in the industry, dealing with people and trying to weed through and actually find the people that are really about business. Is that really difficult for you, or how are you at like really finding those people that are about business?
Well, for one, it's difficult for me to open up to people anyway. So I'd be like, what? You want me to sing? Where? Why? What's your reasoning? Right. I go through all these questions. And it takes a long time for me to come out. So usually I have to know the person, like, okay, I know them. They seem to be a cool person. I only worked with maybe 2 people I didn't know. And the first go around, I was like, this is going well. And then, I like to act. So I got to act this out. And then by the second studio session, it was like, I'm like, what? Hands creeping a little closer and looking at me like this. And I'm like, So I was like singing in the booth. And he like came up behind me and was like, and say this part this way. I'm like, oh. Hell no. I was like,
wow.
I was like, never again. But
that's not funny.
It's hilarious, right?
It was funny to me because I was like, hey, I can tell what you're doing, sir. Like, you know. So I know, Mike, you thinking about you thinking about this, but I wasn't 16.
That's so tough. It's just like,
I mean, you know, people gonna try to get in where they can fit in, I guess. So
yeah. So you have to be prepared for that as an artist.
Yeah, I was strong enough to be like, no. You know, and he didn't say anything. I just was like, I'm not coming back here in my head. Right. But usually I always go with my team. So I always go with my team. Right. My team is my best friend. You know, she's my photographer too. I always go with my team. So I go with someone. But once I trust them, I trust them. Like the Miko Star, I go in there and that's that. But like, I also don't like working with a whole lot of people because again, I'm not really open person. Like, so I'll be like, I don't really like touching a whole lot of producers at one time. You know, I just be like, let me find that one person that understands exactly where I'm coming from and let's make that happen. So that pretty much my willpower is strong. Let's say that one. So I'm like, what you talking about? Oh no, I'm good. You know, I'm here to do this. But I can say that my experience, the majority, other than that one person, they actually really was like, you dope. Like, you're really dope. You're good. And then I respected the guys that say, you dope. You good. At the time, you single. You want to go out? I respect that better than somebody like, you dope. You good. And then, you know, just get straight to it. So, there was some that said that, but I do feel like they really meant business. But they also was like, while I'm doing this business, you know,
trying to do some business.
Right. Maybe this is my potential, you know, because sometimes you meet your potential in your industry. Because as you all know, it's hard dealing with someone that's in the industry. You know, you got to understand that the content that they put out and things like that. So it takes a certain type of person to be with someone in the industry. So that's why I think they probably lean towards that too. Like, I want to talk to somebody else that understands me.
Right. You said you met your husband at a session. I mean, at a session, right?
Yeah. I met him at a session, and that's the first time I ever crossed because usually I say business is business. So I'm like, nope, I will never date a musician. And I know some of them watching, because I'll be like, oh, they is foul, how they be doing these girls out here. And I was like, I will not, you know, as I wanted to keep it business. So everybody in my band knew, like, y'all my bros, like, you know, we gonna keep this business. Because I had people come and go, like background singers, things like that, because I didn't know they was, you know, humping some people up in the band. And then when things go left, then all of a sudden, you know, they out. I'm like, where my background singers at? And now I'm about to get, Mike want me to get, I'm like, nigga, what the hell you do? Right. And I would see these girls, you know, so I was like, not doing it. So, he was actually a replacement drummer. Like, he was just coming in for that one gig. And I needed to ride home because I couldn't drive, y'all. It took me a long time to want to drive. So my piano player was like...
We're going to get into that, but go ahead. No, I'm just...
Oh. My piano player would be like, he was like, well, I can take you halfway, man. I can take you to the station. And I'm a cool chick. So I'm like, all right, I'm cool, whatever. All right, that's good. And so he like, I can take you all the way home. I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm thinking, like, I don't know this dude. You know, I don't know this nigga. But okay. So, so we riding and just vibing and talking. And he was like, man, did you eat? And honestly, I didn't eat. So I was like, no. So he was like, this place called Hip Hop Chicken. And I was like, Hip Hop Chicken? You know, I don't know about that place. And it was just funny because he was just like, how you from the hood and you don't know about Hip Hop Chicken? So I end up eating the chicken or whatever. And then I remember when he dropped me off, he just gave me this weird look like, oh, she's leaving. and I was looking like, you know, and I was kind of like, dang, we vibed good. So I'm all about vibes over anything. Because in my time in the industry, I've met plenty of handsome guys, plenty that I'd be like, oh, okay, all right, what you, and they open their mouth and I'm like, negative, no thank you. Vibe is off. So I was shocked because I never thought I was gonna date another musician. And he was happy that he bagged me because he was like, oh, ain't none of them niggas been with you.
Congratulations to him and you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It was that was great. Yeah, because he wasn't jealous as far as when I'm on stage and all of that. He only got jealous. He probably got jealous one time. Because the dude came up and gave me his card. So I wanted the dude to kind of like go on about his business. So I was like, okay, cool. And he was like, would you take his card for then?
All right, look, don't go start no drama now.
He knows. I'm not.
Okay. Yeah. And he's he's Marcus's brother, right? He's D'Amico Starr's brother, right?
Yeah.
And D'Amico actually said he's the best drummer he's ever like met in like life. Not just because he's his brother. But he's one of the best drummers he's ever worked with. So I was like, that's pretty dope. You know, and he knows what I know. But yeah, man, that's cool. So how has being married, has that changed or affected how you approach music or your, you know, anything like this? Oh yeah.
No, I'm laughing to myself. I know my best friend know why I say that, but yeah, it affected because it gives you different perspectives of writing. And and so the project that's coming out has a lot to do with events, things, you know. Look at Mike's eyes.
Well, I think Mike is looking like that because Mike writes poetry. So you still write poetry, right?
Yeah.
And so you don't write poetry no more, Mike?
For what?
Mike see the writing on the wall.
Right.
He know this project gonna be dope.
Right, yeah. He gonna be the first in line. He gonna get it autographed and all that.
I'm laughing about it, but it definitely will make you, life will make you level up, definitely. So I look at it like when things happen, let me just write about this. I'm quite sure a million people have went through the same thing. Let me write about this. Having more substance. I would say more so mom life probably affected my music the most because being juggling. And that guilt thing of feeling like, oh God, I gotta go to the studio, and they looking at me like, where you going? We need you here. Right. So juggling being a mom, and then the wife card of like, because I have this thing that my goals are very important to me, but I don't want to forget about them. So I'm like, they still need to eat, they still need to do these things. So I want them to see that I'm still going to get all these things done and do what I need to do. So that definitely was hard. Just kind of overcoming that, like life ain't over, you know, because even some of my buddies I talk to, they feel like that, you know, once you have kids, like, well, we're just gonna invest in our kids, you know, and they forget about their goals. So I'm like, yeah, let's invest in our kids, but our kids are gonna be better when they also see that you did what you said you was gonna do, you know. So
and not only that, they're gonna benefit from what you get from doing what you do. Like as you level up, they level up, you know, by default, basically.
Right.
You know, so man, that grind is important. And like you said, it's important for them to see you do it so that they know that it can be done, right? And
it's important that you keep rocks in your pockets and you have really good aim.
Anyway, Mike, I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, like I said, it's important that they see you do it so they can know that it can be done. They have that, like we said in the beginning, that example, you know.
Yeah.
So that's dope, man. So you talked about your kids a little bit. Like I said, I read that interview, and there was a lot of stuff about, you know, you going through, you know, that process of having the kids and how crazy that got and stuff. So I'm gonna start by asking, like, how did that process of having kids and becoming a mom, how did that affect you as a woman and then also as an artist?
Oh man, it was crazy because for one, I wasn't trying to have any more children after Lakeem, because once he got so old, like not old, but I was like, so many years passed, I'm good on that, you know. And so when I got pregnant with Lil D, I was like, are you freaking serious? Like, I'm pregnant and I'm supposed to be performing at the Cherry Blossoms, And I ain't gonna lie, I was pissed off in my mind because I was like, I have so much to do, and now I'm pregnant at the wrong time. Like things like that are playing your mind. And then I was just like, well, it's nothing I can do about this, so I'm gonna still do this. So overcoming that and the body thing, oh gosh, I honestly still suffer from that. You might have read that in the article. Because I was like, now I don't have this child. Look at me. You know, that's the stuff you think like, oh, you know.
Stop saying Dave, man. We can't say that.
Well, but I mean, I've heard this before. You know, I understand. Like,
it's awful. It's awful because there's nothing you can. When a woman go through that type of shit, there's nothing you can do for them except for be there. Just be there and stand in the storm word, because the storm is really, really swirling. It's really, really messed up. It has your spirit in a turmoil. So you done got through all that. Look at you doing all right.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to get to though, because it's that story in that interview has this this amazing like turning point. And I want to talk a little bit about that. Like you talked about when you found out you were pregnant with your daughter and then going through that process.
Oh my goodness.
And how that changed you.
Man, my daughter is like, not saying that she's the reason, like better than any other child.
Right.
Every child put me through something. But my daughter was the one that was like, you need to get it together, like all the way, because when I had her going through that of almost dying, having her, I was like, Melissa, when you come out of this hospital, stop playing, because you've been playing. I had to do self-evaluation, be like, what the hell you been doing? Not a dang on thing, like kind of doing it, not doing it. So I was kind of like, it has to be a reason to be here, because the whole birth was just weird, like whack at the end when I had her. And then I remember we named her Melody. And I was just like, I remember sitting in the hospital and I was like, her name is Melody. She's doing music. Her name is about music. I need to just do this. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to wait and go back into this sinkhole mentally. I was like, no, I'm going to do this now. So having that, because I had more than one near-death experience, but that one was like top the cake. Like that was like one of those things that music literally, y'all, was the only thing that didn't make me black out. I was singing for 5 or 6 hours straight. I was at like 9 centimeters, which is unheard of that long.
Wow.
And I was just singing, and singing.
Not wow. Ow.
Yeah. It was a mess. The epidural never took, like her. She was in her sac. It was a placenta abruption. So that means my placenta was like destroyed. So the girl was in me for 2 weeks like that. And I didn't know. I have a high pain tolerance. So I was just like, my stomach hurts. And I would go to the doctors and they just kept saying, you're good. You're good. And the last day I went, I was like, you guys are not going to send me home. Right. But that was the turning point. That was the turning point that was like, you needed this so that you can stop thinking you have time. That showed me you don't really have as much time as you think, because what if you wouldn't have made it on that table? Now people wouldn't have never got a chance to really see. And when I think about music, I think about everybody else I'm affecting. When I'm working out, I think about other people. I don't just think about myself. I'm working out for myself. I'm like, well, who else am I inspiring to come out of their situation?
Right.
So when I was, all of that went through my mind, and I was just like, if I can help another mother, because then I went through the phase, my hair was falling out like crazy, y'all. Wow. And I was like, what's happening? And so my hairstylist was like, just cut it. How about that? How about you just stop with the superficial things? Cut it. Be raw you. So that's what this whole thing is about. Like, I'm more excited about this project than probably anything I ever touched, because this will be the first time that people really see the real me, like mask off. Because the thing is, I've mastered honestly smiling. I know how to smile on command. You tell me to smile, okay, I got it. I know how to look happy all the time. But this album, me and D'Amico, we did some digging to kind of show the truth. Like, and I wanted people to know that's why I was saying about Sakari and other people. As you're going through your battles, you still have to show up. Life don't stop for you. So that's why I was saying that for my own circumstances, because battles and storms have definitely occurred. And my kid still was like, we need you.
Right.
You know, you can't be space. We need you.
Yeah.
So I was just like, let me just tell people what it is, because even my past things that I didn't finish, you know, those things could have helped people, like those things. So everything that I'm doing is just about also helping other people. Like, can somebody else hear this story and overcome whatever they're going through, you know?
Right.
So, because I'm not knocking anybody else projects or what their music is about, but I do think we need a little bit more something to inspire you. You know, when you listen to that song, substance. Yes, that's it. Yeah. Mike is a poet. He just summed it up for me. Substance, right? Like, talk to me about something else. I need to hear. You know, music is it changes your whole vibe. You can change a song and become a whole different person. So I ain't gonna lie, now some of the songs might be a little sad, but I wanted to remove that mask. Like, these are the things that's been happening, but I'm still me. Like Mike said, I still look good no matter what's happening. So I would never show it here, you know. But I was just writing. Writing. So I definitely would say D'Amico Star was one of the people that was like, you need to put this on wax now.
Right.
My best friend been telling me, Shakana, so many people that's in my corner will be like, you need to get this music out. Because, you know, it's two different sides. Again, the stage me and studio me is two different people, because I'm showing two different sides of me, because when I'm on the stage, I'm just like live. I'm hyped. I'm there. But the studio it exposed everything. So the studio is like, now you really got to deal with, this is the real, you know, this ain't the party you. And honestly, that's what took me so long, because I was like, it's when you're in the studio, you're literally acting to produce those songs, because what you wrote today, you might not feel that way tomorrow when you're singing it. So I wanted it to be correct when I'm singing it. So I was like, I have to feel like that then. So and also have to be in check with reality. So one of the songs that me and him is writing is called Filter, because I feel like we live through a filter. Our lives, we filter out what we want people to see. And so I was like, okay, that song is pretty much about how I feel. What's my filter? You know, what are the things that I filter out? Well, let people see the real deal. This is the real deal.
People
so
need to see it, man. You know, I mean, it's somebody's going, like you said, some of the songs they might have, you know, be a little sad, but you know, people are going through this stuff, and when they identify with you, that's what makes, you know, music that lasts, that lives in people's hearts and minds, you know, for forever, is when you resonate with them and meet people where they are, you know, and especially if you giving them, you know, giving them that comfort of knowing that they're not the only one, you know, you got a fan for life. So that's dope, man. You said a lot of stuff. I want to unpack some of it. I want to start with, like, you talked about having good people in your corner, like, you know, we talked a little bit about that with Shakari and her situation, and so that's such an important aspect of success, is having the right team in your corner. So having, you know, for you, finding people like D'Amico and having people like your best friend, like that whole process, did you like, how did you, so your best friend was obviously, you know, your best friend I'm trying to figure out how to word this question right. So the people who are in your corner, how'd they get there, basically? Like, so how'd you meet D'Amico, your best friend, you know?
I don't know.
Where did those relationships come from?
Cause see, it takes time to get to that circle, like a long time. As far as my best friend, it just was like, us going through life together and realizing, dang, she's always there. Like, she really is one of my biggest fans. She really is rooting, because sometimes you can have somebody rooting for you for other reasons. So I would say with my people in my corner, in my circle, I put people with exactly where they are. So if this person is rooting for me so they can also make it, that's also fine, because you're still on my team. But your reasoning could be different from my best friend. Is like, I want her to make it regardless if I make it. So I only got I got a few of those, but all of those people I known since childhood. And then some people I met early adulthood, and then we just kept connecting. And the vibes were good. Like, I just felt like they were overall good people, that it was no ill will, like nothing behind them. Like me coming to y'all show and I'm like, yeah, I'm just coming to this joint so I can say something dumb, get the show canceled. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes that happens.
That's my job.
That's it. Mike said that's what he do. He gonna say something dumb to get it. If we ever get canceled, Mike, it's gonna be because of Mike.
No, you bring the fire. You bring, you say what we wanting to say.
Pretty much. Yeah. That's
that's all.
Yeah.
But I'm just thankful for the people that's in my corner, and the people that are to come. But I definitely look at people with a little microscope, like, what's going on? What you here for? Because I used to didn't do that. I would be like, okay, and they would say that was my flaw, because I would be like, yeah, love y'all. Like, when I'm on stage, I love y'all. And I was serious. And I would get off stage and I really would be like that. And I had to learn to close that off, because I would be doing that, and then people would be like, oh, you do? Time to, And so my best friend and a couple of other people say, when you do that, you're holding on to a million people problems. And then, so I wanted to figure out a way to listen to those situations and pretty much help other people. Like, okay, if this person, and that person is going through this, then let me see how we can build, because I feel like we need it. Like, our people, especially after COVID, the mental state.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And COVID showed a lot of people that they weren't happy. Because it's like, you finally in the house, you finally get the rest, and you're like, I gotta get out of here, because you have to really deal with the real you. So that's what I realized, Dave, was, dang, man, you've been running because when you sit here and do these songs, you gotta sit here and see the truth.
Yeah.
You can't sugarcoat it no more. And that was a hard pill to swallow, because I was like,
you talked a little bit about what took you, the time that it took to create, and that's part of it, right? Is having to take that time to face, your demons, basically, and the stuff that you and become comfortable with putting out there and sharing it with the world. But that's the type of stuff, like I said, that makes timeless albums, man. The way you're talking about it, I'm excited to hear, what you got going on and what you got coming. So do you have a name for the album? Do you have a tentative date or anything like that? I ain't trying to push it. If you don't, you can say no. But do you have any of that stuff?
I'm just messing. Well, me and D'Amico saw he really wants me to get better, which is the single out in August. So I believe it's August 10th. I have to check with him, but I want to release the whole project on my birthday, because I like to do stuff on, like, right at the tip of the new year. But the single should be coming out next month.
She wants party days. She wants the party days.
Let's see what New Year's party. Yeah.
I want to party down.
Yeah.
Come on.
I want to wear 12 outfits.
My son.
But
enjoy it.
The visuals, we're actually gonna record them in a couple of weeks. It's gonna be sick. The visuals is sick. What we have planned. So the first single is called Better, and it kind of warmed you up for some of the things that occurred. So I leave it for the listeners to say, is all of this true or not? Is all of it true or not? But he did a fantastic job on producing it, also helping me because it was a whole different monster in the studio versus stage. I was like, what you mean I gotta layer this 10 more times?
Yeah.
Yo, I was over it. I was like, that's too much work. I said, if I was live, this would have been done, you know. But he was dope with layering, you know, just making me feel comfortable. Like, it's okay, you know. Come on, you got to do this. Don't worry about that part, because I don't like that's something else that I don't know if they put it in the magazine that I struggled with, was like trying for everything to be perfect. Like, it got to be perfect. So, oh God, if I would hear something wrong, I'd be like, take that off. And he'd be like, it's the studio. We could just fix that with this. And honestly, at first I didn't like that, because I was like, what?
And it's like, the difference between like changing your voice and like fixing more, like if you go up a little something like that, there's little things you can do, but you got the raw talent, so it's not like you know.
Right. He was like, you're not faking it, man. You just we just not about to keep doing this 20 times, you know.
Right.
So I was like, oh, okay, you know. But it's the song is dope. It's a rapper on that song, and that's actually my nephew. And he's really talented. So I was just like, this is tight. So it starts, I could tell you this much, it starts off like a phone call. Like, the person is calling me and they basically telling me, like, you know, get him another chance, whatever. So it's really going to be good. The visuals, we're going to be recording those on the 1st of August. So I don't know, Dave, if you see my stories, but I've been getting real trimmed up for that. And I'm like, all right, I gotta get ready. I gotta get ready.
I definitely want to talk to you about your fitness journey too. Because that's one of the other things that you know, that was sparked right in that whole time with your daughter being born and all of that.
Oh yeah, fitness. Oh God, I love it. Fitness is like that outlet. Man, somebody pissed me off, I'll be like, all right, I'm not about to do nothing stupid. I'm just about to keep working on this body. But I learned that when I was going through, and I was such in a dark place, and I will do that, I will feel better. And I still use that to today. Like, if I'm going through, I'm like, you know what? I'm going through. What happened today? Because I learned that sometimes in your struggles, you pick up bad habits. And I'm like, the last thing you want to do is, while you're going through this one storm, you come out of it and you have another storm because you picked up something. So I was just like, while I'm going through this storm, I need to be positive. I still need to be my good mom. I still need to be there for my family. I still need to be there. So I'm like, let me just work out, because like Mike said, the body image thing, when you have multiple children, it's like you just never feel good enough. And I'm not gonna lie, I still go through that. And people check me, so that corner makes a difference, because they'll say to me, Melissa, stop, you know, you're good, you know, stop doing that, because if not, that takes you down a rabbit hole as well. So fitness had helped me. It wasn't the first time that I had got on my journey like that, because I did it before. I taught a class before. But I didn't think I could do it again. Like, I was like, not after 3 kids. I can't come back like that. And I came back, y'all. Somewhat. But what I liked was, along the way, my friends and other people were like, help us. They kept texting me, messaging me that during COVID, like, help me. And I'm like, I was just trying to help myself.
Right.
And I ain't gonna lie, at first I was a little selfish. The first month I was like, okay, girl, whatever, you know, I'm working on me. But then I was like, maybe I can help some other people. And when I started doing that, that's when that blew up. And I was like, oh, so sometimes you can embark on something that end up being a big deal just because you're giving out to somebody else. So then once my job, because, you know, I work at Howard University, once they seen what I was doing, they were like, Mel, you've been like this since we met you. You always positive. You always have these affirmations. We want you to do this program at Howard. We want you to teach Howard students. And I'm like, oh, okay, a grant program? You talking about some more cash? What? But it wasn't even for that. You know, when I got into it, I just wanted to help other people change their lives, because I know a lot of women that do the same thing, and they just feel like, I had all these kids, or men, but my thing to them is always, it's about your mental first. It's about your mental first, because you could be the best looking person, be in shape, and then feel like you terrible, you know. So I try to work with them on that. Like, look, you have to work on your body. Like, your body is going to be this. You might not, like how Mike said earlier, they listen to the songs, they want to be shaped like this person. And I don't knock nobody that got their surgeries. Just letting y'all know, I'm not against that if you want to fix that. But I'm saying don't do it because you think a man is going to be interested in that. So I say it all the time. Hey, they gonna get this little tone, but I got hey, it's tone, you know, and you look at things and say, dang, well, ain't looking at this girl because she got this, you know. But at the end of the day, when you're sitting down and you're with this person, it's like, what is the substance? What are you about? So that is what I try to teach my class. Is like, get up in the morning, do your affirmations, you know, have that positivity around yourself, and then add the working out with it. Don't do the working out just because you like, I'm trying to get my summer body. It has to be beyond that. It has to be, I want to be healthy all around the board. So I'm doing that, and that goes hand in hand with my music, because it's all about pretty much building other people while I'm also on the progress of building myself. I was like, you know, I learned that one of the things I learned, you all, is my story is tied into a lot of people's stories. And I learned that sometimes in life, maybe this other person didn't take off as big as they could have been because you ain't do what you supposed to do. So not saying it's all the blame, but I realized around me, like, COVID made me sit down and be like, look at all of these amazing friends that you have, and all of these people are doing amazing things. And your story is tied up into their story. And all it takes is one person to, like, boom, and then you pull this person up and this person. So that's my goal. My ultimate goal is to better everybody else while I'm helping myself, because I realized, you know, shutting down as far as musically being like, ain't nobody gonna get this, ain't nobody gonna hear this. It wasn't doing anything except killing me more. So I was just like, let me get this stuff out and also help whoever I can help along the way. Men too, you know, if the men out there, y'all want some help. Because it's just about overall health. And did I put it, Dave? I don't think I put it in the story, but my father passed of heart disease. And man, that I never got over it. I never will get over that death, because I was at the age where I was trying to help him. I was, you know, I was like getting there, and I didn't make it there. So, you know, a lot of times when I'm at my job, I'm like, I've been here so many years, but I did it to try to, like, help pretty much what word am I looking for? Not kind of get him feel better about what happened, but like, hey, I went to the same place that they took care of him here, so I'm gonna give some years here. So when they told me about the fitness program, I was like, there it is. Yeah. Because I wanted to help other people before they got to that point of sickness, and COVID exposed that in our communities of how many of us was like had so many underlying health issues and all these issues, and health goes all the way around the board, all the way through to the mental. So a lot of times if you have somebody struggling with body image issues, and if they can't walk up the steps, then they also might be depressed, you know. Not everybody, but I'm saying some people. So I was like, you know what, if I'm feeling this way, it got to be a bunch of other people that's feeling this way. And when they kept reaching out, I was just like, I'm just going to really, and that goes back to Mike, he said assignment. And I was like, that's my assignment. You know, my mom used to call me Miss Mission since I was little. I always like wearing a cape. You know, I like to put my hand on my left hip like I'm saving somebody. So I was like, oh, this is how you do it. So that goes back to the beginning, Dave, when you said, you know, things take time. And I was actually happy that I took my time. And so anybody that's listening to this podcast, take your time, do things on your time. Even if everybody around you is succeeding and they're doing something awesome, amazing, it doesn't mean it's not going to happen for you in your time. So while you're going through your process, you working. Congratulate other people. It's very important to congratulate while you're on your way up, but also know that you can overcome whatever you're going through. You can overcome it, and that's what this project is going to be about. That's what this fitness thing is about. So I'm trying to help all of y'all.
Yeah, we always say it takes a certain type of person to recognize a deficiency, right? To see something that's needed, and to not just say, okay, I'm gonna just help myself and then I'm gonna stop, but actually to look out, at the world and say, okay, it's a lot of people that need help. Let me take the effort and take the time to actually not just help myself but help others. And like you said, that journey, that aspect of it can make your journey so much more fulfilling and surprisingly so much easier. You know what I'm saying? Like just having company, having people around you that's going through it too, to share your stories with, and helping them can give you, that confidence to make those moves for yourself. So it's dope that you're doing that. That's amazing. Now, I'm the person, like I always say, whenever I work with a lot of singers, everybody knows I have like an affinity for singers. I always appreciate really talented people, because it's a lot of them, not just female, but singers in general, who want to be able to do what you do very effortlessly. So I always be like, I just want you to sing all the time and I do nothing else. Just forget about everything else and just focus on singing. But that's just my selfish, always wanting to hear the voice. But, the fact that you're branching out and finding these other things that fulfill you and that bring you, that, give you a sense of, encouragement and fulfillment in life is dope. And it'll all add to it and make for a better, project when that does come out. And so, yeah, keep grinding, man. I'm so proud of like everything that you like you said, that level up is so obvious, as I'm talking to you, I'm saying.
Wow, thank you.
That elevation, So, so I want to talk a little bit about music specifically right now, like your, who are your top 5 vocalists of all time? Like, who do you listen to? And give me just 5.
All time.
Top 5 for you. I feel like I know who one of them is, only because they always say, you tend to emulate your top 5. So I'm gonna see if I'm right.
Go ahead.
No, I'm gonna see if I'm right. Go ahead. I want to hear.
No, you go.
No.
You can switch up for me.
So I'm gonna tell you, because like I said, I've been around music for a while and I've worked with a lot of singers, and so listening to the clip of you singing "Precious Lord," the runs, I heard Monica in there.
She ain't my top 5.
She's not in your top 5?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right, so I was wrong. Now let me hear the top. Who's the top 5?
No, I like Monica. But see, I'm a Brandy fan.
Okay.
No. I ain't gonna get petty on this line.
They cool. But yeah,
No. I actually got that a lot growing up. So that's probably why she's not one of my top 5, because I'd be like, sound like her.
But anyway.
But she's tight. But I love her. But I would put her in my top 10. Okay. I would definitely put her in my top 10. Top 5. That's hard.
Come on, number 1.
You mean vocalist or overall my favorite people?
So let's do vocalist first, just because you're so dope as a vocalist. Like, I just want to know who you really listen to and who you really, pay attention to in your field. So
okay. All right. So vocally, I don't know what the order they in. Yeah, I don't know the order. Cool. You should already know Whitney is on there.
Yeah, well,
Luther Vandross.
Okay, he's dope.
Shaka Khan.
Shaka's amazing.
Vocalist. New Age.
Any, all time, any.
All time?
Yeah.
Good God, man. I love music.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm coming, y'all. Dang, who else? All time. I mean, I love Mariah Carey, even though, some of her live ain't, but I absolutely love her.
Yeah.
All time. I'm missing somebody. Who I say so far?
Okay, you had Mariah Carey, Shaka Khan, Who else she say, Mike?
Prince.
She ain't say Prince.
Oh, Prince on there, but he on the other end. That's
Luther
why.
and Whitney. Yeah. So Mariah Carey, Shaka Khan, Luther and Whitney. So you need one more. Round out the top 5. And we're gonna
round it out.
To say Melissa V. Neal.
Ooh. New age, somebody, I'm gonna put a new age in there. Somebody I think that's super dope on all levels. Her voice, I love it. Absolutely. I would say Jasmine Sullivan for me, because I love her.
Yeah.
I mean, because every aspect of doing different things. Because I wanted to put one new age. I would have put her, her, and the only other new age probably would have been. I mean, he's still new age to me. I absolutely love Tank voice. Like,
Tank. Yeah,
I'd be like, ooh, I can't listen to his music.
Largo.
So into Tank to my top people, he is right. Mike. Okay.
Prince is in there.
Okay, good God Almighty. Yeah. I love Prince. Absolutely love Prince. I love of course I love Michael. I love Beyonce. Cause she's gonna bring that fire in all aspects. So I love her.
I'd rather just look at her.
In all aspects.
Right, yeah.
That's all aspects. She looks good, she sounds great, she do her live thing, she you know.
She's awesome, but you ain't gotta play no music, just go ahead and dance.
You know what?
I will say about Beyonce, like, you know, like I said, I really love singers. And so it started because when I was young, my mother used to play a lot of like Aretha Franklin and and Shaka Khan and different people like that. And so I really pay attention to them. And so as a dude, it's like, yeah, I just want, you know, Beyonce, she looks amazing. But vocally, like, she's the only singer I've never heard like crack or make. You know, everybody has that flaw, has that one thing, that one mess up. Like, she's the only one she's always on point. And so I give her that.
Really? Patty is always on point.
That's a good point. I haven't heard it, but I mean, I feel like I've heard Patty.
I've never heard Patty off point.
I know y'all heard some off notes from this one. Because when I get out there, I might start cat scratching when I'm singing. I don't know.
Wait a minute.
But you sing with soul. Sorry.
Because Erykah Badu, I love her live, and she reminds me of that person that sometimes you might catch her and she do a little something, and you know, that's her expression. I would say definitely, I agree with you though, Dave, on Beyonce, because she's a perfectionist to the T. So she's gonna make sure that that doesn't even come out on there. Like, right. You know, and that's another thing I want us to level up on. Like, these award shows be making me mad because I'm like, you finally there. You are finally there, and this what you did. You got all these dancers. You're supposed to lose it. Right. And that's what people see in those performers I was talking about, because they just come out of themselves and say, we're gonna do this. But I think if you get to the point you like, this just a job, or I got the money, I don't have to work. No, you still gotta work because you still reaching your legacy. You still, you know. So that's what I love about those artists, because it's kind of like Prince, he never felt like he taught himself. Like, he never felt like he always felt like there was something else to learn. So that's what I learned from them, is it don't matter how big you think you get, it's always something that you can get better at. And those performers show that's probably why they're so great at performing, because they don't just go off of that last performance and say, and that's something I try to take into my own performances. I would be like, what did I do that I didn't like? Y'all should hear me when I leave the show. It's a mess. I'm like, oh, set 2 was a mess. That's all. Like a Debbie Downer, like, you know, everybody else is like, yeah, but it's a couple of them I left, and I'll be like, yeah, I ain't gonna say that on here. I don't know who watching, but I'll be like, B, you did that. You did that, you know. So I like to leave the show feeling like that was powerful, you know, and I gotta feel that. If I feel that fire, I already know once I know went off, because everybody else, and you know, a lot of times people will say, we want to see him. We ain't got no footage. That's because they partying. They is we gone with the wind, you know. I'm out there dancing with everybody. So I'm actually preparing for a gig I have next month. I have 2 gigs, but this particular party, and I'm preparing for it now. And the preparation I was showing, because I usually don't like to show that type of stuff, but my son was like, we should record this, mommy. People need to see you being here working out in heels. And I was like, they do?
Oh yeah, I saw that video. Yeah, you was like,
but that's something that Beyonce and them do.
What does your husband say? You working out in the heels?
Mike, where you trying to go? Right. Hey, he know I work.
Mike, let's
put it this way. That ain't new. That's not new to him. That ain't new to him. You know.
That's right.
Hey, I believe in all aspects of life. You need to make sure your top. Okay, so be 100%. So,
it's not that you are.
He used to that. He'll just be like, okay, babe over there jumping in her heels. He just be like, really? You know? And sometimes he be like, you like the Energizer Bunny, like when you gonna relax, you know? And I'm like, I gotta get ready for the show. But I really wanted to show people that because sometimes we don't see that, you know, and then I'm like, you gotta be a diva with it. You gotta get on stage and you're supposed to be fierce. So, you know, some of my clients say, I could never do that. I'm like, yes, you can. Put on a pair of heels and try it. And I don't know if you're gonna fall, but but try it, you know, try it. But that's why I wanted to show that Dave, that part so people can see how I prepare, because that's like me warming up. So you already know when I'm actually on stage, I'm Mike, I'm psychotic up there. It's ridiculous. I'm having a ball because at that point I don't feel anything going on. But if I don't prepare like that, I've had gigs that I've been going off a straight, just not wanting to fail. So I'll be like, yeah. And then I look back at the drummer like, cut this joint, cut this shit now.
Right.
I'll be like, I can't breathe. Or I'll back up on the set, you know, and then look around and just be like, or my main thing, I'm telling y'all my secrets, but I'll be holding the mic. I'll be like, hold on, what y'all just say? Ow! Or, you know, get on the mic.
Y'all sing while I get
so I can breathe, you know, but those shows still went great. But I was like, it's time to elevate.
So the work you gotta put in,
yeah, you need to elevate. So one of the things that I do plan on doing is making sure I record all my shows so that I can go back and tweak it and see what I didn't like. Because a lot of times I don't know, people just be like, that's the greatest, you know, and they like, you know, hype, and I'm like, what happened? What did I do? And I believe that's what Beyonce does, and Prince definitely did that.
Yeah, so for a while I managed artists. It was rappers, but it was you know, some of the same stuff that you say. I would always tell them it's not about just, you know, your words of course are important to you, and so you want to convey them and make sure they understood. But it's about creating a moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you up there, you want to give the people. Bring the people into your world and let them see why they want to be there. And, you know, that's how you create fans. And you know, you got to create a moment for them. And so when you doing everything you doing, they right there with you. They feeling it. So, And your personality is so inviting. You bring them right into it. And so that's what makes it dope. So, that I always tell them about you recording your practices and stuff like that. People love that love music, and especially that are fans of you, they want to be a part of every part of that process. So they love stuff like that. So, you know,
I'm learning that.
You even just taking pictures or recording a little something. Yeah, this is me in the studio. It's, you know, 2 a.m. or whatever the case may be. You know, if you give them a little taste, they love stuff like that up. So that's all of that stuff is just elevate.
I'm going towards that because I would be so secretive before, you know. I'd be like, I ain't nothing to my story.
Yeah, you ain't gotta give them everything, but just take something to have them ready. And you know, I would say, you know, when you in the mood and you just feel like singing something, you know, just record it and throw it out there. It's like you know, covers and stuff, not nothing, you know, that you want, but you know,
but you're right because see, I'm so critical. I'll be like, I ain't got a band with me. I'm just sitting here in the house. Nah. that echo don't sound right. Like,
and that's
I'm not putting that out there.
Be like that, but I always tell people like it's people out there doing a lot more with a lot less than what you have. So you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And you have like the key element is the voice. Like you have it, you got it. But you know that. But yeah. Show that joint off sometime. But yeah, man, I'm excited about what you got coming, man, and I'm definitely you know, if you let me know where to be at, I'll be there. You know
I'm gonna let you know the secret location.
Yeah,
you can come because y'all you know.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, any gigs you have or anything like that. So speaking of that, if people want to get at you like for gigging, for you know, for vocals, for anything, like how would they be able to reach you, like social media, stuff like that?
I guess that would make sense to tell them, huh?
Right.
Dang, I ain't think about that on my memo.
Right.
Well, you can Google me, baby.
Yeah, I know.
Google me. If you Google Melissa V. Neal, I'm everywhere.
Yeah.
No, I'm a mess. I am on there, but you can find me on Instagram at Melissa V. Neal. So MELISSA, middle initial V, NEAL. Remember, y'all, Wixie is my, what do they call it?
Your
I had a brain fog. Yeah. So Wixie is
you better put some respect on that man's name.
No. I definitely respect it. That's why I'm on here as Melissa Wissy. But Melissa Wissy is not tied to my music. So at first
nor should it be.
It should, because them two different people. Yeah. Melissa Wissy is not Melissa V. Neal. Trust me. So I wanted to keep them separate. And plus I didn't want to lose all the things I had before.
Branding.
Yeah. So I was like, too long of information out there to just lose that. So you guys can find me on Instagram. I'm on Facebook also as Melissa V. Neal. I'm everywhere as Melissa V. Neal. I'm on Google. I'm on YouTube as Melissa V. Neal. So you can find me there.
Saying you on SoundCloud. I found a SoundCloud joint you can sing.
You did. I re-recorded. Let me tell you, Dave, I re-recorded that joint.
Oh, okay. So you gonna put it back out?
Yeah, because when I recorded that, I was like 8 months pregnant with Lil D. Okay. And I was struggling like a mother in the studio. I was like, sunshine.
Yeah, no, you sounded good though. It sounded amazing.
No,
it did. Like, and I'm hard on singers. I'm trying to tell you, like, it's like you have the gift, like you have the like that it factor.
She know that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Mike, no, I'm serious. I mean, when I'm listening to myself, I'm like, that was, you know.
It's different. It's different. When I hear myself talk, I'm like, that's your voice. When you sing, come on, you know a good voice when you hear it.
Yeah.
Well, you know we our own worst critics. So a lot of times when I hear stuff, I be like, girl, you should have redid that. That's what I don't like about the studio. But live, I don't get a chance to do that because I'm like, it is what it is. Yeah. And then I'm cocky live. So I'm like, what? I be getting on it. I be on their face and stuff. So I don't know. But studio, it's a little bit different skill set. But just like you said, Dave, and Mike, a lot of people say that to me, and I appreciate it because I actually be needing to hear it. Because I be hearing some of this stuff, and I'm like, dang, this singer just did like 10 riffs, and she like overlaid herself 25 times. How she do that?
Yeah,
you know.
That process is long, but it's worth it to learn to stay in there and get all that stuff. I always ask people, do you have like I don't know if you've done a lot of recording, but when you're in there for a long time, people sometimes have like a studio survival kit. Like I always used to take like water, of course, some candy, because after a while you start breaking down, you start getting tired, so I had like some sugar or something, and something to read for like the long time. You know, like with mixing and all. Do you have something you just gotta have with you when you're in there?
Okay, so let me write that down. That's new. That's new for me because I do be getting mad. I be like, I've been in this joint too long. Yeah. And Marcus, I think because I'm his sister-in-law, he'd be like, all right, sis, well, see you tomorrow. When you coming back? Because he know, like, God damn it, it's gonna take her 2 years to come back.
Yeah.
But I might need to do. I'm gonna look into that because one, I need to make sure I'm not coming from work. That's a major issue. Yeah. Because I'll be tired, you know. So after a couple of rounds and I don't like it, I'm like, I'm good.
Well, all you got, just if you're gonna come from work, it's the same thing you can do. First of all, you know, rest your voice while you're at work. I don't know if you do a job we have to talk a
lot. Well, unfortunately, everybody always talking to me.
Yeah, so, but on them days you're gonna record, just try to rest your voice.
They're gonna ask you questions and shit. They're gonna ask you all the questions.
Well, I'm the peacemaker.
Okay.
I'm the peacemaker. But it's okay. It's just I'm counseling people all day. Like it's all right. What happened? The girl back there did something, and I'm preaching to people all day long.
Okay.
So I noticed that. So that is a good idea, Dave, because I talk too damn much at work.
I mean, that's what you gotta do. But I'm saying, you know, that's your instrument, so you know you want to make sure it's ready. You know, when you get there. And like I said, have something with you, because I mean that long time, especially like after I started getting into mixing and all of that stuff, then it was interesting to me. But when I first was going in, like when I was going up to New York recording, and they, you know, we lay the vocals and then mix for 30 minutes to try to get it perfect, and then I lay some more and then he mix it and then we have a song. But I just be sitting there looking at, so I started bringing, like, back then it was a book. Now I try to have like my phone with me or something. But you know, something to drink, something to do. You know, some people, you know, bring like a drink with them if that's what they, you know, into.
You know, I don't drink my Dave.
Oh, okay, yeah, me neither. But
I don't drink at all.
Oh,
me neither.
You can give me a vitamin shot.
Yeah, you
like maybe you know how you go to the smoothie place and be like a vitamin shot. Maybe I can do that.
But yeah, some people do that if that's what they, you know. But for the most part, just some. Definitely water. If you're gonna be singing a lot, you might want to bring like some tea or lemon or something like that to keep your vocal cords, you know, running.
Yeah.
And so we call it like a little studio survival kit. It's something you always bring with you and make sure you have it.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll help you do that process. And but I mean, working with D'Amico, man, that dude is I tell him, you know, all the time, like he's brilliant, man. Like So
he is. It's ridiculous. Like I be like, dude, you got all of these beats, like what?
Yeah, he's a genius. Yeah.
And I try to give them to a couple of my friends, and I'm talking about y'all, yes. And they were like, oh, okay. And I was like, okay, then don't jump on once my project finished.
Right.
Because he might not be available then, you know. But he's dope. He's awesome. And I'm definitely looking for you guys hearing all of the craziness that goes on in this world over here. Yeah. And I'm quite sure you guys will be able to relate to some things. But you all 9 times out of 10 will probably be shocked and be like, what? Oh,
you think so?
He smiles all the time. I'm like, yeah, because I ain't never gonna let nothing take my smile away.
That's good.
I'm never gonna do that. I'm never gonna do that to the point that I'm not smiling. And no, because there's always something in the day that happened that can make you smile. So I had my little moments that I'd be like, I'll call my best friend and be like, oh, life's falling apart.
Right, yeah.
And then like 5 minutes later, she said, Melissa, you so crazy, because 5 minutes later I have on some type of turn up music and I'm like, straight that night, and I'm over it, you know.
Yeah.
So.
And life is about getting over it, you know what I'm saying? Because there's always gonna be stuff that's gonna be, you know, there.
Always.
Now, life is about how you get over it, man. And you know, if you master that, you win. You know not just for you, you winning for all the people that's looking to you for. So you winning for your kids, you winning for your husband. You know, you're doing it, man. So, like I said, like just seeing your progression from where you were, and not even that you was in a bad place. You was doing it back then.
Dang, come on, man! I was in a bad place, man.
Well, I mean, you didn't show it like you said. You were good at, you know, doing. You came in with the team. You know, killed the interview. You sang, you know, amazingly at the end. And so, and I'm, you know, I don't want to put you on the spot, but if you got a little something, you might want to. Okay, but look, so I'm. But before we go there, hold up. Before we go there, it's 2 questions because we it's already 8:30. It's 2 questions that I always ask everybody that comes on. I always like the answer that I get, so I gotta ask you the 2 questions first, okay? So the first one is, if you could talk to a younger version of yourself, if you could talk to, let's say, 14-year-old Melissa Neal, if you could get in a time machine with everything that you've been through, everything that you learned, all the wisdom that you gained, if you could go back and have a conversation with yourself, with 14-year-old you, what would you tell her?
Dang, 14-year-old me.
Yeah.
Girl, bump these boys. Bump these niggas. No. I'm playing now. No, I would just tell myself, no fear. No fear. Like, don't worry about your circumstance. Like, no fear. Go ahead and do whatever you dream of. Because when I started off at that age, I wasn't really focused on music. Like, I would sing at church, but that was it. Like, I wasn't like, you know how some people start off at that age and they're putting their stuff out and you know, sending their stuff back then off to Disney and all that. I wasn't doing that. Because honestly, I didn't see anybody else come out of their circumstance. So I was just like, I'm gonna go to school like everybody else and sing on the choir and, you know, go to church and sing. And that was my life. So I would tell myself to definitely believe, like really believe and focus, like you can do this.
Okay. Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, because you might have been the one that was dope enough to make it happen when everybody else, and you still, you know, but
take me back.
It's time.
Right. Now I want to go back. Now I want time.
I'm building the time machine. I got you. When it get done, I got you. I'm gonna hit you up. You know. But the other question is, you know, you performed a lot. You've been on a lot of stages and done a lot of things. We didn't even get to all the people that you sang with. And all of that, but you got to come back doing and hang out with us some more. But I do want to ask you, you know, like I said, you've been on a lot of stages, you performed a lot. It's been a lot of people looking at you. When people see Melissa V. Neal, what is it that you hope they see?
Dang, these questions deep, boy.
I know, I do that. That's what I do. That's why I got to go.
Dang, you got to send me these later too. So I would love to like, you know, really get into the question, but what would I want them to see? Because I know I like them to have a good time.
Right. But when they looking at you, what do you hope they see? Like, what do you hope when they like, wow, she's ... What's that?
I guess just she's great, man. She's great. And I hope they see that the main thing, like, all this 3 kids later, she's still out here. She overcame, like, you know, she's doing it. I can do whatever my dreams are, basically. So having a good time, you know, escaping, because I like to be that escape too, but also like inspired. Like, well, that's what it is. That's the word. When they look at me, I just want them to be inspired. Like, okay, I'm inspired.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. Yeah. So. Yeah, man. So, all right. So, we gonna wrap up. But I want to know if you don't want to, it's cool. You can always say no.
I'm just trying to figure out, because last time I sang a gospel song, right. I can't talk gospel with no R&B.
Well, I mean, now it's your voice is. I mean, if you can sing the McDonald's theme song, which, you know, just.
Do I even remember that song? Sing because I'm happy. All right, let me see. Hold on. Mike, like,
You ready, Mike? You good?
I'm fine, man.
Okay. All right, we ready.
All right. Let's see. What you want me to sing, Dave? You want me to take it? You want me to take it while I took it last time? It gotta be better than that.
Well, okay. I mean, that's up to you, man. I just want you to do what you do. Just show the people who Melissa V. Neal is.
All right. So that means I gotta go to my roots. Okay. I can't sing no gospel song. I mean, no R&B song for that.
It's up to you. Right. What it is.
Yeah. All right. So this is actually, y'all, the second song that I probably sung ever. Okay. It's the second song I ever learned. And you guys know His Eyes Is on the Sparrow. You should know that one. All right. Why should I feel discouraged? And why should the shadows come And why should my heart feel lonely and longs for heaven and home? When Jesus is my portion, a constant friend is he. His eyes are on the sparrow, and I know he watches, and I know he watches, and I know he watches me. That's it. I heard some stuff I wanted to redo, but that's it.
Look, that's the perfectionist. But I'm gonna tell you what I liked about that just now is anytime somebody sing that song, they sing Lauren. They do their impersonation of Lauryn Hill from Sister Act, and you didn't do that, and I appreciate that. Like it was different. Like they do a perfect, and it's cool. Like I said, I've worked with a lot of singers, and so I do that song a lot. And they always the runs are exactly the same and all that stuff. And you made it your own, and I appreciate that because it was dope when she did it. But I get tired of that. I like your version better now. Yours is my official favorite. That's how I'm going.
Hey, Lord, you hear that? Oh, that's nice though. That's nice. That'd be my goal. You know, when I cover stuff, I be like when I cover, and I told one of my friends in music this. He be with the Future Band. Somebody he went out to see. And they was performing Jill Scott, It's Love, and I was irritated because I be like, that's my cover song. And if you ain't gonna do it like her or like me, don't do it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Cause certain artists is like, if you're not gonna be on their level, what you covering that song for? But like one of my friends in music, her name's Kristen B, and she did Jasmine Sullivan recently, and she did it her way, but she did that daggone thing. And that's how you got to do it. So for my coming up artists, if you covering songs, you better cover something you can cover. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. Like, don't ask me to sing Whitney Houston, I Will Always Love You, because I listened to that song so many times, it would be really hard for me to get out of exactly how she did it. Exactly. Yeah. You know, so I would be trying to match her, and, you know, that's one of those timeless songs. It's like, leave it alone. Yeah. So, I try to think about that when I'm covering, you know, music. Yeah, so
that's what I tell people. It's good to do covers because you want to put your voice, which is something new that they haven't heard, in a familiar package, which is a cover song, something they have heard, and that makes it acceptable. And it's a good time for you to display your talent. And that's why you can't do it. You have to kill it. You have to kill it, especially if it's something that people love. It's a classic or something like that people really revere, because they're going to be looking at you like you look at people when they try to do Is Love. Like, what are you doing? You know, so yeah, man. So it's amazing. Hey, man, thank you so much for coming through and talking to us tonight, man. It's been really dope, man. You're awesome. Everybody, we waiting for the album. You said the single is coming out when you say
next month, y'all, and y'all gonna start seeing it on my stories. I'm gonna be like prepping, and it's gonna be some stuff. Oh shoot, I need to put this out here. Public service announcement. I need a love interest in my video.
Oh, so, okay. I know some people. Yeah.
Love interest. I gotta interview y'all because I gotta vibe with you.
Okay, yeah.
Because it needs to be raw. It needs to be real. Yeah. You know, so if your dream's been to get up on me, no, just kidding. No, but I need a love interest. Because at first I was gonna make it really good, but I was like, you know what? No, I need a love interest. And then I want to actually meet the person before, so it's not like weird. And I'm like,
yeah. When you act, you gotta, you know.
Like this person hugging me, and I never even say nothing to them. So I need a love interest. So if you're hearing this, and you know. I love my LTGB community. Y'all know that. Y'all know it. But I'm talking about a man.
Okay.
I'm not even trying to be funny.
We don't need that right there, but no.
No, because you say love interest, you never know. My hair.
Hey.
Look, you know what I'm saying?
But look though, I know some folks on the
everybody.
Mike, you know what I mean.
Yeah, we love everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, we support everybody. But no, for real, I know I'm gonna send some actors your way, for real. Like
okay, got it.
Actual actors who can, can do it. And yeah, you're right. You have to do that chemistry test because it'll show in the video of you if he go to hug you and you're like, ugh, so you can't do that.
Right.
So yeah, but yeah, I know some folks that would probably be perfect for it too.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's dope, man. So when you looking to do?
And it's about the second week of August, but we're gonna start shooting the beginning of August.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're gonna start shooting the beginning of August. And hopefully my goal is for it to be out within because basically we're doing little things coming up to the actual single. So it's kind of like people like, oh shoot, that's what happened in that particular event, and they'll see the dark side of Mel. Ooh, the dark side. But it's going to the visuals that Lens Photography we came up with. My hairstylist Kenneth Ederton. It's dope. Like the concept that they came up with. So I can't wait for you all to see it.
Yeah, man, I'm excited the way you've been talking about it and to know that you've been working with D'Amico and doing your thing, man. I'm excited. So yeah, man, we'll be on the lookout for it. Make sure you send us the link so we can put them up so our people can see it. And if you haven't followed her yet, go follow Melissa V. Neal right now on Instagram, on Facebook.
Do that, y'all.
On Nintendo 64, everything. Go follow her wherever you
yes.
and look, man, thank you so much, like I said, for coming and hanging out with us tonight. It's been amazing. You're a dope artist, and I can't wait to see what you got coming. On behalf of myself, Super Dave, aka Mr. Incredible, my illustrious brother, Just Mike, and the awesome and talented Miss Melissa V. Neal. Thank y'all for checking out another episode of the Neighboeish Livecast. We'll be back next week with more interviews, more information, more entertainment, and more fun. Have a great week, y'all. Take care of yourselves and each other, and peace.